Hello everyone and welcome to this new video. Today we're going to see how to create a database, an entity, and connect it in Symfony. The first step is to configure the database in the .env file. So we'll open it. And as you can see, we already have some commented examples. One example is the PostgreSQL. However, we're now going to use MySQL. So I'll take this one and we'll uncomment it. And don't forget to comment the other one. So we have the URL here. MySQL app is the username. ChangeMe is the password. Then there's the database IP address with the port. After this, app is the database name. And then, as you can see, we have the version. So for me, it's going to be root for the username. And we don't have a password, so I'll just delete it. Then we have the URL. It's local, so 127. We'll call it minibib, and I'll leave the others as they are. For creation, as usual with Symfony, we'll use the command Symfony console doctrine : database : create. So either you write all that out or you type d:/d:/c and run the command. Now here, I'm just going to refresh the page, and as you can see, we have our empty database, minibib. Now that the database is created, we're going to create an entity. An entity is a PHP class that represents a table in the database. And for that, we use the command Symfony console make : entity. And as you can see, Symfony guides you through creating the entity step by step. The first step is the name. They gave an example, orange elephant. However, for our project, we're going to create the first entity, which is author. The first step was creating an author class and a repository. A repository is the class responsible for all your database queries. So if you want to check now, it created the entity with just an ID. Then it asks you to move forward and create the fields of your entity, which will be the columns in the table in the database. So the first field will be first name. It will be of type string. If you want to check the other types, you can put a question mark like this. It's going to show all the types offered by Doctrine. However, now, since first name is a very simple field, we'll use string. We'll leave the length at 255. Whether it's nullable or not, we'll set it to yes, depending on your needs. Now this is the first column. As you can see, it's written directly into our author class. First name with the ORM column and nullable attributes. It also created the getters and setters. For the other fields, we'll create them quickly because they'll follow the same principle. So after first name, we have last name, which will also be a string of type 255 and will also be nullable. Then there's biography, which will be a text type instead of a string because we'll be writing more than 255 characters for an author's biography, so nullable as well. Next, we're going to add the slug that we'll use in the URLs. So we'll name it author slug. It will be type string 255 and also nullable. And finally, we'll add the date of birth, which we'll call birthday. We'll use the date immutable type. And like that, we have our entity. Before moving on to creating the other entities, you see that Symfony asks you to create the migration. The migration will create a file containing the SQL queries for creating this table and its columns in the database. We'll take a quick look together, and as you can see, they created a file in the migration folder. Then it offers to run another Doctrine console command, Doctrine : migrations : migrate. And this command will create the table in the database by executing the migration file. Now, if I refresh the page, as you see, we have our author table, which contains first name, last name, biography, slug, and birthday. I'm moving on to creating the category entity. And now we're going to create the most important entity for our project, book. The first field to add is title, which will be of type string. After the second one is summary, so it will be of type text. Next, we need the book slug, which will be of type string. And I'm going to add another field, a book is either archived or not. So I'm going to call it is archived. Symfony detected that this field starts with is, and it suggested it's a Boolean type. And now we need the book's content. We're going to use PDF files, and we're also going to put an image for the book's cover. I'll call the first one book file name and the other book file path. And for the cover, it will be cover image name and cover image path. And now we need the relationship between the book, the author, and the category. We'll call the relationship with the author, author. I'll enter relation and the class will be author. Each book is written by a single author, but an author can write multiple books. So for us, this relationship will be many to one. We can also add a field in the author entity to retrieve all the books related to an author. Now we're going to add the category relationship, which will also be of type relation. It's many to many, because a book can have several categories, and a category can have several books. So our entity is complete. Now we're going to run the migration, Symfony console make :migration, and then Symfony console doctrine :migrations migrate. Now we refresh the page in our database. We have the author, book, category, and we also have the associative table between category and book. It's created automatically. That's all for this video. See you next time.